All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Music and Moonsaults. I am your host, Chris Bourdine. And with me today, you can catch him most Thursdays at 4 doing his Corner 3 on The Distraction, and also over on The Distraction Patreon doing a bunch of stuff. I got Mr. Robert O'Neill with me today. Robert, how's it going?
I'm going great, man. How you doing?
I'm excellent, man. Thanks for coming on today.
Oh, for sure. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's episode 11 of the Wrestling Wayback Machine, and today we are Robert and I are going to watch the Shawn Michaels versus Mankind match from In Your House 10 Mind Games, which happened 25 years ago. Now, are you a real young pup like Joseph? Were you even alive at this time, or?
Yeah, so I was born in 1992, but I didn't
Okay.
really start watching until probably 2002 in that area.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you're like in between because I was born in '85, so
Mm.
um, so I was actually out of wrestling at this time when when the WWF sort of made their transition and focused everything on cable, on Monday Night Raw and stuff.
Mm.
Probably like mid '94 is when I kind of like lost touch with wrestling, and I didn't really come back to it till SmackDown debuted on UPN because we didn't have cable at my place
Oh, okay.
growing up, so I kind of missed out on the whole Monday Night Wars thing. Um, but yeah. So this is a match that at one point Mick Foley said that it was his favorite match. And I know Sean speaks highly of it as well.
Hmm.
It's a classic match. September 22nd, 1996, from the Core State Arena, which is now the Wells Fargo Center, I think, in Philadelphia. And this is also the same night that the ECW invasion kind of started. The first one, the
Yeah.
real ECW invasion, not the Alliance crap from 2001. So Robert and I, we're gonna watch this. If you want to join along with us on Peacock, or if you're outside the states using the old WWE network, I'm jealous. But we are at 116.09, and if you want to get there and join along with us, we're gonna kind of watch this match and talk about it as it goes. So
Yeah. Let me just get there real quick
yeah,
here.
no problem.
All right.
There's a kind of funny Shawn Michaels interview right before this, but because of Peacock, I'm getting the free version through cable, so I'm not paying the extra for the no commercials. So there's a commercial like break right in
Oh, yeah.
between the promo, his promo and the entrance. So I'm like, we'll just go to the entrance. But
Yeah.
he talks about like not having a brain and stuff like that. It's kind of like, I don't know if that sounds as cool as you think it does, Sean, but okay. um, all right. If you're ready, we're gonna go ahead and 3, 2, 1, and play.
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, man. I really do like the set. Like the In Your House
Yes.
set's very cool.
I was so happy that NXT when they've done the two in your houses have brought that back.
Yeah.
And even to the point of last year with Gargano like walking out the front door, that was
Hmm.
really cool. And so we're seeing the Druids now. The month before this is when the shocking turn happened, and Paul Bearer turned his back on the Undertaker and joined forces with Mankind.
Yes.
Um, I mean, the Paul Bearer and Undertaker were inseparable. So that was a shock. They
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, because I mean, you think about it, like they'd been together pretty consistently for what, 5 years at this point?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. And I mean, Mick came in right after WrestleMania this year, and
hmm.
immediately was basically putting a program with Undertaker, and for the most part, he gets the upper hand for a good portion of the feud early on. Like it really, Undertaker really helped him out at the start here,
Yeah.
getting him
Yeah.
going.
No, absolutely. And I mean, if you bring Mankind in and just have him work, someone else, I don't think it really goes as well. So I mean,
No,
that's part of it too.
and Jim Ross talks about it. He brought he was pushing for Mick because he knew he was a good wrestler and a good person to have in the locker room, but mainly like they needed people for the Undertaker.
Yeah,
and he was believable as being an opponent, a challenge for the Undertaker. So, and this part of the character is so great. Him rocking back and forth with the urn, calling Paul, Uncle Paul and stuff like that, and Mommy and all that kind of stuff. Just such a good stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about, Foley in general. Like, not the best in-ring guy, especially in the WWF, but he made the character stuff work so much that, he could make up for some of the shortcomings in the ring.
Yeah. Yes. And here comes the champion. Now, are you like the rest of your cohorts at the Distraction offices and a massive Shawn Michaels hater?
It's interesting. Like, he's obviously very good. I think, some of his bad traits have carried over to kind of independent wrestling and now more mainstream wrestling in the past 10 or 15 years. And he's kind of responsible for that. So if you don't like some of that stuff, then I get it. But I mean, there's no doubting the in-ring stuff though. Like it's good stuff.
Yeah, he's my favorite wrestler. So like I get people that if it's not necessarily their thing. I think people who outright say he sucks kind of are like, you're kind of missing the boat there. But I get if his style sometimes isn't necessarily for you.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of revisionism. Like his current job and kind of capacity has kind of clouded people. And he's not the only wrestler that I think that's happened to. But
so. And he's got Jose Lothario with him. I believe he had a match with Jim Cornette earlier on this pay-per-view, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the funny thing about In Your House, especially the early ones, is they have like a big main event match. It gets time, but a lot of the stuff is just kind of gimmicky stuff to fill time.
Yeah. They would have like one match that would be kind of the like the selling point, and and usually it was tied to the name. Like the following month after this is Buried Alive, because it's the Buried Alive match between Mankind and Taker. So they would have the one match that would be the selling point, and then they would kind of throw a bunch of other stuff on the undercard to kind of fill it out. It's an interesting concept too of having your, at this point they had 5 like major pay-per-views, and then the rest of the months they were cheaper, shorter pay-per-views.
Yeah, and I mean I kind of like that. Like take your big 4, your big 5, make them matter, and then kind of everything else is just more of a B show. And I mean, they still kind of do that. Like if you include the big 4 and Money in the Bank now, like nothing else has like that pedigree, I don't think.
Yes.
But I mean, there's not a price difference or like a length difference, but
no. We just saw the clothesline over the top, and we're out on the floor. And Mankind's about to pull the blue mats up. Man, it's so funny to like seeing this, the blue mats and the blue steps and the red, white, and blue ropes. This is like, and I think both companies at this point, I mean, WCW is really in the thick of the NWO at this point, but there for a while they're kind of, they also, Glacier's just arrived, so both companies are kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of like the old cartoon style wrestling, and then this new what would become the Attitude Era.
Yeah, and I mean I think 1996, like obviously everyone remembers it from the NWO perspective and the Austin 316 stuff, but there's a lot of good stuff there. Like everyone thinks like the Attitude Era kind of starts closer to 1997, but there's some good stuff in 1996. They're planting the seeds a lot of changing, and it's cool to see.
I had a conversation both with a friend of mine, and then also with Joseph. I think 1996, up until maybe this year that we're in currently, I think 1996 is the most significant and important year of, whatever you want to define the modern era of. I kind of go think of it as like the start of the pay-per-view era.
Mm-hmm.
I, when you think of all the comings and goings and the dominoes that fall because of those, I mean, Austin comes in to start the year, and look at what
Yep.
he would become. And then you get Hall and Nash leaving, and like, not only does that allow WCW to start the NWO, which really changes the business and kicks it into high gear, but that also is what leads to the curtain call. And without the curtain call, if you believe, what is generally considered, common knowledge, Triple H was supposed to win that King of the Ring, not Austin. And if Austin doesn't win that King of the Ring, we don't get Austin 316, and who knows what all is different from there. And it's just crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh man, look at Mankind just diving out of the ring to avoid the sweet chin music.
Yes, yeah.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
Getting comfort from the urn.
Yeah.
Man. So.
And it's like, it's a little thing like that, like just a different counter than you usually see to a move that just adds so much. Like, when CM Punk just kind of sat up to avoid the coffin drop last week, it's like, that's cool. That's something different than we see. Like,
yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I like that, as opposed to just, your typical counters. Sometimes it's just better just to get out of the way. It's more more prudent. And we're setting up for an Irish whip here.
Yep.
And this is so Sean and Mick were back on when Edge and Christian were doing their podcast. Sean and Mick were both on talking about this match, and that spot there, it's a callback. They kind of used what was in the news at the time. Going back to SummerSlam, Sean had that match with Vader, and there's that spot where Vader is supposed to move out of the way and he doesn't, so Sean kind of jumps off the top rope and stops and kicks Vader in the head and yells at him.
Yeah.
And that was all, that was kind of the talk of the industry at that point. And so that spot there where he goes to do the leapfrog out of the corner and Mick's not there, and then Sean chases him to the opposite corner and kind of yells at him and smacks him and stuff like that. That's kind of that was them kind of playing on what was being talked about at the time, which is really smart.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't really realize that, and that's something like, especially in 1996, that's something like, if you catch that, you're going to feel really smart, because not everyone's going to like catch that or realize that.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely in 96 is things are a lot more or a lot less open as what they are now. So even today, that would be kind of like, I guess they tried to do it. I didn't watch it, but I guess they tried to do it this week with the whole Charlotte and Nia thing. Where last week things got a little chippy, and so they ran it back this week and kind of worked it a little bit more. But we're getting Sean leaps over the table. There's all these gold things on the ground from Goldust's entrance, and they're all over Sean's back and stuff. It's kind of funny to see.
That was great when they do confetti, or like, when Jeff Jarrett would come out and they'd have like, man.
Sean, Mankind always took that bump where he took the suplex, and he always hit his leg on the steps somehow, and he just
yeah, I mean, it couldn't have felt good. There's no way to like do that and make it not hurt.
No.
Oh man.
It's interesting commentary team too. We got Vince and JR and Mr. Perfect instead of Vince, JR, and the King, which was what was the team a lot of times in this era.
Oh yeah.
Drive that knee into the top of the casket. Oof.
Just getting physical already.
Yeah, and it was Sean credits this as the match that kind of showed he had an edge, because he was up until this point he was the finesse guy. He'd do all the pretty moves and stuff like that, and this match showed that he had a mean streak to him.
Yeah, and I mean I'm glad that that's been brought up before, because that's something that I just kind of thought of, just watching it. Like, Shawn Michaels matches you've seen before this, just weren't like this. Mm-hmm. I mean,
the only one that was close was the one from earlier this year against Diesel at Good Friends Better Enemies. That one got a little chippy, but for the most part, it's just him flying around the ring and doing a bunch of finesse like moves.
Yeah.
And now we're working on that knee with an dragon screw leg whip. We're at 128, 39, 40, 41 for those of you at home watching along with us. And now we're gonna go for the figure 4.
Ooh. Now, I haven't watched a ton of stuff from this era, but I don't think that was really a common move in the WWF at this point.
It was. It just wasn't. This was before the wooing every time. The whole crowd doesn't woo every time someone does a figure 4.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because like Brett would do them, and Brett's off TV at this time, which is another one of those what if things from '96. Is that his contract was due, and he could have very well left for WCW in '96 instead of going in '97. And how would that have changed? Because again, then you wouldn't have gotten the, what really cements Austin as a top guy. Later, the next WrestleMania. So.
Yeah.
Sean's just really working on that knee.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think the Austin Brett match at Survivor Series this year does almost as much too to get Austin as a top guy. Like obviously the WrestleMania match cements it, but that match at Survivor Series is just very good. I
love that match.
Just a lot of limb work here, and I mean that's just keeping it simple, and that's all you got to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And see, so like he's, going right to that edge, keeping that hold on, taking the full 4 count. Mankind suckers him in.
And see, like, I talked a little bit about Sean's influence on the current generation earlier, but I wish that people, instead of just kind of doing the big moves over and over, would kind of look at how he was able to tell stories and just kind of copy that a little more than just kind of spamming moves.
And you hear it like... I listened to Malachi Black when he was on Jericho's podcast a few weeks back, after he debuted in AEW, and he talked about like being in Sean's class in NXT, and that was really, and what I love this spot too, where he gives him I don't know what that is, but then he just starts jabbing at his knee with whatever that it looked like, a piece of wood or something.
Yeah,
it just kind of prove pounding that point home that this guy is not all there upstairs. But he talked about in Sean's class, they broke down the angle between Sean and Jericho from like 2008, where Jericho punches Sean's wife, and stuff like that, and talked about how he broke that down to them and stuff like that, and talked about how good Sean was at telling stories like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of, modern wrestling, everyone just wants to do stuff that looks cool. But I mean, everyone can do stuff that looks cool, just where the athleticism is kind of industry wide now. So it's like, focus on telling stories more and kind of let the moves fit into that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And where Mankind's got Sean in the corner now, firing off some punches. We're going to get the running knee here.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
there we go.
It's funny. Like I said, Sean's my favorite. I had a top, everyone's got their top 5 or whatever, and I always had the top 4 was always, cemented, and it took me a while to figure out who number 5 was, and earlier this year I came to the realization that it was Foley. Just the stuff he does early in this run, and then all the way up through, through 99 and into 2000, and then even like, after he retires and does the Commissioner, like he's one of the best of like his range. He can do the comedy stuff and have you rolling on the floor laughing, and then he can do this brutal stuff and just have you mouth on the floor, just like, what did I just see? What, so
yeah,
he's definitely I think unsung, an unsung hero, I think.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it is, a lot of people just remember Mick Foley for the Hell in a Cell, which, it's a shame because there's just so much more to him than that.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. We're going here.
All right, what do we got going here now?
We're going to trade some punches, I think. Oh, nope, Sean again. Kick to the midsection. There we go.
There we go.
He's really selling that knee, too.
Mm-hmm.
Headbutt. Which, I mean, shoot, like I said, the way that he... the way he took that suplex on those stairs, I don't know how much selling I would be doing. I think it would all be like, yeah, no, my knees really hurt.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now we're going to trade. Oh, nope, still.
Still Sean firing. Back Irish whip. Reverse. Oh, there's the flare spot. Into the tree of woe and an elbow right to the face.
That was good. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that just goes to show, people, we're going for another one.
Oh, wow.
All the stuff, people take from Sean nowadays, better or for worse. And, Sean ripped that right from Flair. So, and he did the figure 4 earlier. So everyone steals from everybody. So I don't know why such a big deal is taken from it sometimes, but I guess it just gives people something to complain about.
Oh, yeah.
Leg drop to the back of the neck. Oh, boy.
Yeah, again, I mean, that's kind of more where this physicality comes into play because, we say we haven't seen Sean do some of this stuff, but you don't really see him take to any of these moves either,
no,
before this.
No. Because, I mean, a lot of the bigger guys that he had wrestled before this were like Diesel and Sid, and like they're just going to be, punch and kick guys. They're not really going to do the leg drops and stuff like that, and a lot of the real, they're just going to manhandle Sean. They're not really going to rough him up and get too physical. And
oof. At least that one he kind of avoided hitting his leg on the stairs.
Yeah, he didn't go full bore into it. I've seen him do it before where he just runs right knee first into those steps, and I'm like, what are you? Oh, drop toe hold into the stairs. Checking to make sure he didn't poke his eye out. Maybe this is where Seth Rollins got that idea last year.
It could be.
We're gonna try and He's gonna try and suplex this guy all the way back into the ring. See how that works for him. Oh.
Yep.
Dueling suplex attempts here. Sean's. Oh. We're both on the apron. Oh. Mankind charges at him. Sean moves and he hits his face on the post. We're at 1:37:20, 21:22 for those of you watching at home.
Yes.
Back elbow.
Oh, there we go.
Scoop slam from Shawn Michaels. Don't see a whole lot of
Wow.
those.
No, you don't. Wow.
Not quite as pretty as the Randy Orton version, but gets the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the
It's tied up.
the tied up spot. Oh, but we got the claw on while we're tied up.
Wow. See, that's a cool spot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, credit to Mick for doing that because I'm pretty sure that's how his ear came off.
It is. But I think these ropes are a lot more forgiving than the ropes, the cables they were using in WCW at the time when that
true.
happened. So I think he was a little more comfortable doing it. And let's face it, he probably didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, the chances of it happening again are so slim. So,
Oh, we got the claw on him on the. Oh.
Ooh.
Right into Hugo. Oh, no. Not Hugo Savinovich.
You could tell he was not expecting that either.
No. Is this the match where he? Yeah, oh yeah, I think so. No, okay. Oh, he tries punching him, and he gets the. Oh, now we got a chair to the back of the knee. And now Shawn starts working on the hands to try and keep him from using the claw, which is again just a good little touch.
Mm-hmm.
We're pulling the hand in. And now we're biting. Again, another sign of aggression from Shawn here. We're biting. We're just pounding that hand into the mat, trying to render it useless.
See, I mean, that's the thing. Like, they're not doing anything to, like, reinvent the wheel here. They're hitting on the little things.
Yep.
Just
a little Pete Dunne finger snap there.
Yeah. Oh man, it's good stuff. Like, I mean, it's very good match.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, that was the kind of the wrap on the two promotions at the time was, WCW. Yeah, they had hot angles going, but as far as the in-ring work goes, the undercard was really good with the cruiserweights and stuff like that. But the main events, a lot of times, kind of sucked. Whereas, for the WWF at the time, you had on the undercard a lot of silliness with, Duke the Dumpster and the Goon and all that kind of stuff. But the main events usually were pretty good because you had guys like Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart in the main event, and they could work with pretty much anybody. As we get Shawn gets back body dropped outside the ring, out on the floor. Mankind's now he's selling the knee and he's selling the hand. He's in rough shape. But are we going to get the cactus elbow?
Oh yeah, he's going for it.
There we go.
Oof.
No wonder why he's had like hip replacements.
Yeah.
I think. Oh no, not yet. I was going to say one of my favorite spots is coming up here pretty soon.
Yes.
Right now, Mankind's rolled back in the ring. The ref's counting Shawn out. Both men kind of catching their breath. Baseball slide and neck breaker.
Boom. There we go. Both down now.
Mm-hmm. And I think Shawn was a little farther out than normal. Usually that move looks really smooth. And, I mean, and that's not something you say a lot of times about Mick's offense, that it looks smooth. But I've seen him do that quite a few times, especially if the person is closer to the ring, that baseball slide to the outside into the neck breaker. Oh, leg drop across the middle rope. Back of the head. Double arm DDT.
Yep, here we go. There you go.
Well. And Sean kicks out at 2. I've always liked the double arm DDT.
It's good. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of it.
Pile driver.
Ooh.
Not a real good cover there, Mankind.
Nope.
There we go. Hook the leg. No, still can't keep him down for a 3. Oh, look.
Wow.
Mankind's like, I can wrestle. Look at this. Look at this. Now he starts, he's getting frustrated. He's like going crazy now. He looks like my 1-year-old when he doesn't get his way.
Yep.
Looking
I'm going for 2 chairs.
Yeah. I don't know why he grabbed the padded one.
Yeah.
Now he's got the other one.
Oh, there we go.
He's just throwing whatever chair he can find.
Yep.
Open the casket. Oh, we're going to try and put Sean in the casket. This is in the casket match, Mick.
Nope. Just going to make a statement here.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, he's going to fight out of it.
Kind of foreshadowing, too, what would lead to the end of the first part of Sean's career here.
Yes.
With the casket. There's that flying forearm and the nip up, and here we go. Are we ready? Are we getting the punch? Oh, Mick falls. Didn't get the full combo. Body slam.
All right.
Up to the top. Going for that flying elbow. But mix up. Cross body.
Ooh. There we go.
Mick kicks out a 2. Back up to the top. Oh.
He's up. Uh-oh. Ooh. All right. Give them both a minute here to catch their breath. All right. What do we got here?
Mick climbing up on the outside. Uh-oh. Oh, tried for a back suplex, but Sean counters into crossbody, and they go through that Spanish table that Mankind strategically moved in place earlier in the match.
Oh man,
and the thing
that is rough.
I don't know why, but for whatever reason, that whenever I see this clip, my eye immediately goes to the guy in the crowd with the Tim Hardaway Team USA jersey.
Yes.
Just because it's so like, I mean, if a perfect encapsulation of 1996, or maybe that's a Penny Hardaway. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably. I don't know if Tim Hardaway was ever on the Olympic team. You know, he was good, but like,
he might
I don't know if he was ever
that second
good.
Dream Team, or that actually this would have been like the third Dream Team. So he might have, but it's probably Penny. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Sweet chin music with the chair. Dragging him. Is that going to be enough to put him away? 1, 2. No. Here comes Vader. Uh-oh.
No.
We got a DQ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't like a DQ finish in the main event.
I don't love it either, but I think there's enough gaga here at the end to make people kind of forget about it. Oh, Paul Bearer in with the urn. And I see both sides, Sid out to make the save.
Well, because you know what the thing is, like, I don't like a ref bump and then having all these guys come out either. So
yeah,
it's like there's only so much you can do, and it does do a good job setting things up going forward. So
Yeah. Like I like it's kind of one of those things where you need an opponent for Shawn, and Mankind makes sense because he just beat the Undertaker.
mm-hmm.
And that hand's coming back to life. Um, but but obviously you're not gonna beat you're not gonna take the belt off Shawn here at the time, and because you're going into the Buried Alive match, you necessarily don't want to beat Mankind either. So I get it from that standpoint, but then the other side of the equation is people would say, well, don't book the match, which I get that point too, but
Yeah,
you know.
it's weird because it kind of feels like they're just gonna
The
save it.
Undertaker's in the casket.
Oh wow,
Where'd he come from? Look at that crowd though. That crowd's into this.
Oh yeah, and really that's all that matters, right?
Exactly.
Right? Like
exactly.
I am curious when they got him in there though, because they didn't have any like lights out spot. They must have like a false bottom on it or something.
Well, yeah, because so his match was the match before this.
Mm-hmm.
And like they didn't show him going all. They showed him walking up the ramp, but they didn't show him going all the way to the back. So I imagine when the lights were still out, they kind of snuck him back down and had him underneath the ring, and then. I don't know. That's the one thing that Bruce never gives up on his podcast is how they do the casket stuff. So, and then there's the announcement: Shawn Michaels is still your World Wrestling Federation champion, and that makes the people in Philly pretty happy. So again, at the end of the day, that's what matters. As long as the people are into it, yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing, right? Like obviously it's not a great finish to you and me, but I mean the people are happy, they're going to go home happy, so that's really all that counts.
And again, to their credit, I mean no one ever brings up the finish when they talk about this match.
Yeah, that too.
They talk about how great the match was and all that kind of stuff, and all the table spot and all that kind of stuff, but they never the fact that it ends in a DQ never really comes up from anybody. So from that standpoint, I guess, well done.
I'm curious, was the plan to kind of do Shawn and Mankind again at some point, but Shawn leaves for part of 97, then he's hurt by 1998. Like, were they trying to save it for something bigger? I guess.
I mean, I'm sure they were leaving their options open. I don't know if that was a set plan. The plan at this point, I think, is still to have Shawn drop it to Vader at Survivor Series and then win it back at Royal Rumble, and they end up switching it to Sid because him and Vader just did not get along, and him and Cornette didn't get along either, so it was really not going to work there. But yeah, so that was the plan. But all right, I think we can shut this off now. We don't need to see Shawn Michaels strip. So yeah, really good match. I enjoy it. It was fun to look back at it again on here right around the 25th anniversary. So
yeah, no, that was great. That was a good pick. I'm glad we did that one, and just a really fun time.
Awesome. So Robert, what tell all the people what you got going on, where they can find you, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, at Robert O'Neill 31 on Twitter. You can see me on The Distraction every week, Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Also distraction.com or patreon.com/distraction. We do what's basically become a 4-hour show after Rampage. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. We're having a good time. We just all kind of have a nice time talking about wrestling. It's nice. The thing about talking about wrestling on Twitter is it can get kind of turn on you in a hurry. And it's just kind of nice to have a community where, people kind of mostly get along, and just, it's nice. It's a nice kind of place to go.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy, especially, your post Rampage show, because the mix, I find like my wrestling fandom is kind of a mix of all you guys, a little bit of each of you guys, I identify with you as a guy who's always been the WWF guy and is just now like becoming comfortable with the fact that there actually is something better and it's okay to like that and acknowledge that WWE right now is not very good most of the time. But yeah, it's just real good. It's real good. Listen, it gets me through work. Usually early.
And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. When we're doing it, it doesn't feel like 4 hours. So I hope it's like that when people are listening too.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, I listen to all my podcasts at 1.5 speed anyway, so
there you go.
So that helps too. But yeah, no, you could tell that you guys are just you're just kind of just talking, and it just kind of ends up going that way. So it's not like you guys set out to, hey, we're gonna talk for 4 hours.
No, exactly.
Especially Joe all the way over in the UK at that time.
Oh, no, that's rough, man. We finish and it's like 7 a.m. his time, and I'm like, all right.
He's young.
Yeah, exactly.
He can handle it. All right. Well, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming on and doing this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I had a blast.
Yeah. So yeah, follow Robert again at Robert O'Neill 31 on Twitter. You can follow me at I've been as Chris. Leave a like. Leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell for notifications, all that kind of stuff. If you want the audio version, it's going to be over at anchor.fm/Christopher-495. And from there, it'll take you wherever you want to go. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star rating and leave a very nice review for me. That would be a lot of help. So, all right, guys, until next time, see ya.